Welcome to the With Clarity and Purpose podcast with your host, Yanet Borrego. Each week, I bring you an inspiring person or message to empower you to live life on your terms so you can be who you want to be, do what you are meant to do, and have the life you deserve to have. We will provide you with practical and cutting-edge approaches to continue getting clarity and direction on your path, mastering your mindset, and gaining confidence to tap into your inner wisdom so you can live on purpose. Hi everyone, I am so excited today for another episode of With Clarity and Purpose, and this is going to be a very inspired one. I introduce here to Jim Narvios. He calls himself an empowered lawyer. I actually love that term.
Yeah.
Empowered. And he has been one of the people that have been the most inspiring in my life. Other than that, as you know, I'm also a loyal customer, so I really appreciate all his services and he's amazing at it. Jim, would you like to introduce yourself really quickly?
Hi everybody, I hope everyone's having a grateful day, G-R-E-A-T, full day. Hopefully today's the best day of your life, because today's the best day of our life. Say it, mean it, feel it, believe it, receive it, then release it. Let's bring justice to earth. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for that wonderful introduction. It's an honor to be considered to be inspiring and empowering, and to have clients like you. At the end of the day, look, this is just a journey, and you at home, you might be going through a journey. And today we're going to be adding a lot of value to your life because we understand that journey. We are continuously on that journey, and we are on that journey with you. So if you want to work with a wonderful coach that'll help you navigate through that journey, because the important thing is to have clarity and purpose. So today we're going to take you through our journey. We're going to share some golden nuggets, and hopefully it adds value to your life. But I want you to understand that we're going to set the intention here, that you understand that we're with you, and we understand what you may be going through, whether you're going through a struggle, or you're going through doubts or insecurities, or whether you're going through hitting the next stage of your business, or whether you're going through the next stage of your life. It's all interconnected. Relationships, business, health, it all connects. So let's go on this journey. Buckle up and enjoy the ride. Yeah.
Buckle up. So one of the things, Rocco, we met 6 years ago, and I met you in my journey of getting clarity, which I think we never end. We are always in the seeking more clarity over and over through life. One of the things that inspired me the most about you is that you have had what I call an unconventional path, which I love, because people that have unconventional path, they are actually challenging their past conditioning and creating the future in the now, in the present. You went from what I call personal development hip hop rapper to empowered lawyer, and I saw you today. Like the last time I saw you was 6 years ago, and you are the exact person when I met you being a personal development rapper, now into a lawyer. Which truly honors who you are as an authentic and genuine being.
Thank you. Yeah.
Before we get into this journey of clarity for you, tell us where you're from, what your heritage is, who is Jim or Rocco, your previous name.
Filipino,
yes. Inclusion and diversity, y'all.
Yeah. So I'm Filipino. I was raised in the Philippines. I speak Filipino. I was born in Dallas, Texas. My parents gave me an opportunity to be here in America. Thank you to my parents, because America is a beautiful place. And they sacrificed, and they gave me that opportunity. So I always want to give gratitude and thanks about that opportunity. I never take that for granted, first and foremost. Then I moved to Brooklyn, New York. And in Brooklyn, I was raised, I went through school, and Then I came to Houston, and then I moved around a few other places, down south. And ever since then, I've traveled the world. I've had a chance to be,
I remember,
to go around to, so many different countries and experience that. But who am I? The question was,
your heritage, where are you from?
Filipino, so
I love it.
Being Filipino, we get a chance to really dive into like a diverse mix, because Filipinos are extremely mixed. And if you've ever met a Filipino, they're usually with a smile on their face. So
they do.
We're island people. We enjoy it. Yeah.
Cuba, Philippines, we're island people.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Rocco, you started your journey as a personal development rapper. Tell me how you got there. Tell me how you knew that was part of your purpose, and how you gained clarity to actually deciding going in that route.
So English was my second language.
Yeah.
And so I learned English through hip hop.
Oh my God, I love that.
So I would listen to hip hop songs, and I would fall in love with the words, and I would learn about the words, and I decided that I wanted to be a hip hop artist. Well, my first chapter as a hip hop artist was to destroy people. I was a battle rapper, right? So I would battle competitively against other people, your skills, but it was to talk about the other person. And I realized slowly but surely that I was battle rapping to people in my life. And so it was a subconscious thing, whenever you're battle rapping people for, your enjoyment, your music is a very powerful tool to tap into your subconscious. And so I was immediately defensive and rebuttaling people when I would meet them, and even my family and my friends. And I realized that nobody really liked me,
Yeah,
I was in a negative space. And
so
as I transitioned and evolved throughout the course of my hip hop career, I started to understand the power of words. And then I started, reading, personal development books, and I was like, this is good stuff, right? And so I learned that words were powerful. They're the building blocks of your mind, and your mind is the most important thing to feed the right things and nurture the right things and plant the right seeds. And what happened was I realized that I can use hip hop as a tool to reprogram my brain, because I had negative thought patterns or whatever, and my own personal pains and sufferings that I had to heal. And so I started writing words into my hip hop lyrics, and writing the personal development advice into my lyrics.
I remember.
I used to never smile, and if you notice, I probably smiled the whole time over there.
Yes.
So I had a lyric where I said, a smile filled with confidence is a dangerous kind. Add persistence to the grind and supplement it with drive. In any industry, we are dime a dozen, from DJs to MCs or the graphic designers. I choose to stand out and understand my doubts to the point that my mouth expresses what I'm truly about, right? So I said a smile filled with confidence is a dangerous kind. I would listen to it, rap it, perform it.
Believe it.
Say it, mean it, feel it, believe it,
That's
receive it,
right.
and release it, right? Then all of a sudden, people were like, you're smiling a lot. Wow, you have a beautiful smile. Wow. And I got the positive affirmation around me, and I was like, I wonder why I'm getting this. I never got this before.
Yeah.
And then I heard it in my lyrics, and I was like, you mean to tell me that whatever I say in these lyrics are going to come true in my life?
Yes.
And so that's how I became a
that.
personal development hip hop artist, because I wanted to architect my life with my words, with my music. And ever since then, it's been that way. Even becoming an attorney, I had those in my lyrics. Even getting married to my wife, it's in those lyrics. These were the things that I channeled of what I wanted to gain clarity about.
Yeah.
Have vision about. And then so I created based on that. And when I created, I would add emotion, and I would trap it into beats that I really enjoyed emotionally. And I would listen to it, and I would perform it, and I would share it with thousands of people when I perform it on stage. And it was like I was sharing it to the receiving end.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I make them say something, I'll be like, say, I love life. And they'll be like, I love life. And I'm like, oh my God, this is like a cool thing going on.
They are believing it. They are saying it.
Right. And you never know who you'll impact, right? And people are like, oh, you're so happy all the time. Trust me, y'all, we're human beings. We go through our journeys. We go through our sadness. We go through the variety of emotions that a human being goes through. But at the end of the day, the reason that I am who I am today, and the reason that you are, I know her for a long time.
Yeah,
and she's consistently a positive person. And it's because you have a choice. You can either share the positivity and calibrate daily or you can stay stuck
Yeah.
and manifest the negativity. So, you know, whatever you are feeding your mind, your spirit, whatever you create in your environment, it does project and it shows up outside. Yeah.
I love so much that you said that. It's so vulnerable because it is true, and something that we portray in social media is like
Happy,
hey,
happy.
we are happy,
Yeah, yeah.
we got our stuff together,
Right,
we are in
right.
control of it, and we do have moments of lows. Now, I would love to know your routine on how you overcome those moments on low. I can share really quickly mine. The first one is awareness. I'm like, ooh, I'm having a low moment. And like I said, I'm an introvert, extrovert, so I need to get away from everything for a little bit and kind of reason within myself.
Right.
And then I release any limiting beliefs and negative emotions. You know, I love NLP, so I do it with NLP. And then I kind of create a goal. What do I want to do instead? And then move into action.
Replace it.
Replace it. So what is your routine for those listening?
Very similar.
I love it.
You know, I want to learn her technique. I'm always about learning new routines and techniques.
He's an avid learner. I mean, I feel like every book I mentioned to you of personal development, every author, you're like, yes, I've read it. You cite things from the book. To me, it's just so impressive.
I mean, I love it, you know?
Yeah.
So you
amazing.
just can't stop doing what you love, right? So my routine is very similar. I acknowledge it, you know, I'm aware of it, I release it. But, you know, what I do is I allow myself to create the habit of making executive decisions. And I think that's one of the most important things is you have to make a decision. You know, if you teeter-totter and you're like, oh, I'm down, I'm low, I'm happy, but then I'm low again, I'm happy. No, you have to tell you are the captain of your mind. You tell the mind what to do. And it may be hard in the beginning. It may not even show up in the beginning. But I guarantee you, the more and more you say it, you know, you deserve to be happy. You deserve abundance. You deserve to be successful. You deserve loving relationships. And really, that's why I have to go back to the say it, mean it, feel it, believe it, receive it, then release it. You got to say it. Close your eyes, take a deep breath. You got to mean it. You got to be able to imagine it and like tap into the things you once lost, that inner child that you lost through the judgment, through the pressures of society and the work, you know. Tap back into that imagination. So you say it, you mean it, then you start to feel it. After like saying it, you might say it, then you might, okay, I mean this, but it's not showing up. But then eventually, after doing it so many times, you're gonna tap into that feeling. You're gonna say it, mean it, and feel it, and then you feel it enough, and then you start to believe it. Say it, mean it, feel it, believe it, and then you receive it, because then you believe you deserve it. You deserve to have that calibration. And it's like working out, right? You're going to get sore, you're going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, totally.
But after doing it so many times, there's 365 days in a year. You do it for 3 years. That's so many days that you've done it. You start to receive it, and you believe it, and you say it, and you mean it. And what happens is the most powerful thing you can do after that to lock in this habit is to share it with other people. And that's why I say release it. You know, and that's why people say, you know, like, why are you always like trying to be inspiring? Because I want to share this experience with other people, because you never know who you might impact. And then it locks it into my life. It's kind of like a cheat code, you know. I'm actually, you know, allowing myself to lock this into my life by sharing it. And that's why they say love is a gift that keeps on giving. That's why they say you reap what you sow. Yes. These are laws. I mean, I might practice law, y'all, but these are the laws I really want to learn. The laws of attraction, the laws of reciprocity, the laws of being a human being. This is the most important things, because it does translate into my profession. It does translate in the way I treat my clients and the way that all these cases sort of go towards success. So say it, mean it, feel it, believe it, receive it, then release it, and work it out every single day. I
love that. Oh my God. I have missed you so much. I'm like, this is just like, I'm absorbing all this amazing knowledge that you have, and I feel like ready to go. And I can totally relate to that. This week, I actually wrote a blog about knowledge gap or mindset gap. I feel we all know what's right for us. Doing it and keeping the mindset to be consistent, that's just something else. So I love that you brought that up because it is so true.
Right. It requires being unapologetic. It requires consistency.
That's a good one.
Because we're surrounded by other influences and other things that can impact us, and it's hard, when you're around that. So you have to really build yourself up so that way you become, kind of like protected. You also could say that, that's the most beautiful thing about this. I'm protected. I am safe. My energy is protected. Nothing around me can move me. Even saying that, you may fall over and you may, stumble, and you might be like, that's not real, but I'm telling you, just keep saying it. At the end of the day, everything is beautiful. I've said that today's gonna be the best day of my life. My eyes open up every morning. I've said this for the last 8 years of my life, and literally when I lay my head down to sleep, I'm literally like, wow. And no matter what happened that day, I'm just like, wow, today was the best day of my life.
Oh my God.
That's a very powerful gift that I've received, yeah.
I love that. Now, you mentioned social pressures or external pressures, which play a big role. And I feel that a lot of people are not living their purpose because those social pressures from the past or the present or wherever. How do you deal with those? You're one of the people most authentic and genuine. How do you keep yourself being unapologetical? How you said it?
It's a practice, like in the beginning it's not going to be easy. In the beginning it's going to be hard because you're used to the people that you love, and funny thing, right? Like, you are who you are. I don't know if when you were in high school and people signed your yearbook, and they signed in the yearbook, they say, "Dear Jim, never change, always stay the same. Love." They always keep it real. Never change. Be you. These can be very, very destructive sayings, because who are you? And who would you be? And how would your life be if you stayed the same, the exact same person that you are today? How would it be if you stayed that way all the way till your deathbed? That would not make any sense to me, because life is expansive. It's meant for you to recreate yourself and become who you really want to be in the season that you want to be. To be able to evolve like that is a powerful tool, to reinvent yourself, to fill yourself up with the right words, to study the right things, to walk a different way, to dress a different way. Whoever gave you the rules that you couldn't do that? And so, to answer your question, the reason that I'm able to do that is because I've put myself out there in front of everybody in the most vulnerable ways possible. And I did it in a way where everybody can just judge me. And then when I realized that it didn't even matter and I was still safe, I had the permission, I gave myself the permission to do it. And now, and the funny thing is, the people in your life that know who you are, they're the ones holding you to the identity that you believe you should stay with. Yanet, she's an engineer, that she's a corporate girl, and the old people will hold you to that. The new people that you meet, the way that you present yourself the first time you meet them is what they're going to hold you to. So that's why first impressions are so important. Always hold yourself to a standard of how you would like people to see you, because the way people see you is the way that they're going to treat you, and the way they treat you will cultivate a habit of how you evolve into the person that you want to be. And
I love
and so
that.
The people in the past, even parents, even brothers, sisters, you have to have a really good conversation with them and let them know, like, hey, this is my season, this is what I would like, and make them aware of it, because they're if they first see you change, they're gonna be like, what's wrong with this person? Like, they don't want to lose you. And that's where the social pressure happens. People are afraid of losing you. And I noticed that a lot of the pressure that you get is more from the people that you love and care about than the people of social society. Those that judge you in social society, it's only because it lives in your head. The judgment that lives in your head is what's manifesting in the people around you in the social society of the people you don't know. But those that are being judged by the people that know you, it's because they don't want to lose you. Now, one more thing about the people in the social circle that don't know you, and you feel like you're being judged and it's holding you back, that is an illusion. Because the only doubt that exists of judgment is inside of you. When you show up unapologetically and you look people in the eyes and you say, this is who I am, this is what I do, this is what I love, they can't judge you. They can't judge you. Because you might trigger them because you're showing them a part of themselves that they wish they were tapping into. And that's where all the quote unquote haters and this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, if you're unapologetic to people that you don't know the first time you meet them, they will accept you. You ever watch a kid dance? Like a kid in a diaper. Okay, like if I wore a diaper and I started dancing, people be like, oh my God, that dude is weird, you know? But a baby in a diaper and they're dancing, they bring so much joy to you. You're like, he's enjoying himself so much because he's not afraid to be what he wants to be right then and there. That's who he is. And so you don't judge a dog. Not to compare human beings as a dog, but if you look at a lizard, you're not like, oh, that lizard, his personality sucks, I'm judging him. No, he's a lizard. A dog's a dog. A human's a human. But the only difference between a human and a dog and a lizard is the fact that you can create your personality. They can't.
Oh my God, Rocco. Do you all see and hear how this is one of the most inspiring people in my life? I just love all of that. And I mean, something that I've read and I truly believe in, and I know you truly believe in, is going back to being a child.
Rescue your inner child.
Rescue your inner child. Tell me about it. What do you go through, or what tips can you give everyone else? Like,
you know, I have a picture of myself as a young child, you know, on my fridge, and I look at him and I say, you know, hey, you know, I love you. You know, like, we all have our pains that we went through as a child, and those are the most impressionable pains because there's less distractions. That's when our minds are being formed. It's our formative years. And we have to acknowledge those pains and heal them. But guess what? Somebody else might have caused those pains, other situations. You had no control. You were a child. You had no choice. But guess what? You're now an adult. And you can parent your inner child. And so what I do is I tell that inner child, I love you, because he'll freak out. Like if there's a situation, you know, there might something that triggers you, your inner child. It's like, no, I'm afraid. And then you're just like, okay, I'm the adult. Take a deep breath. Imagine that inner child. I put him on my lap and I said, look, Jim boy. That's what they call me when I was a kid. So those words are more powerful because if I refer to myself as the term that they called me when I was a kid, there's something deep in there. So I say, Jim boy, it's okay. I'm here for you. I know you're afraid. I acknowledge it. Same process that we're talking about. I'm aware of it. I'm aware that you're afraid. I know why you're afraid, but it's okay. You can release that because I'm here now, and you won't be hurt. You'll be okay. That. And just like the words that I was telling you, say it, mean it, feel it, believe it, receive it, then release it. What happens is the more and more you do it, the baby's going to get comfortable. And whenever those typical situations arise, then it's gonna trust you because you have now delivered every single time that you're gonna keep them safe.
Yeah, it's like programming, repetition, reprogramming your mind. Now, I love that you said that when you were personal development, hip hop. No, you were not still personal development. You were early stages of a hip hop rapper,
right.
And you realize, you know, the people around me, they don't like me, and of course, the words I use are not impeccable, like the 4 agreements. You did that and you gained clarity through moving away from something. And then you gained knowledge and you started to move towards something and started to make decisions in terms of the person who you wanted to be rather than the person that you didn't want to be.
Right.
How do you keep that in your life right now? Because I feel a lot of people wait until crisis or pain to hit, so they have a big enough motivator to move away from that so they can start living a different reality. What are your thoughts around that? Yeah. I
mean, my journey is different than everybody else's. The reason that I do that is because it's a habit now. I've made it. I mean, it's my priority. My priority every single day is I break down my life into chapters, into seasons, right? True. And so like I believe that, distractions is like the killer of dreams, and I believe that, focus, you can really accomplish a lot if you focus. If you just focus, you can accomplish a lot in 4 months. Our firm has doubled in size. Our clientele.
You have a beautiful office. It's amazing.
Yeah, thank you. And so like if you focus, you can accomplish what you're supposed to accomplish. So I break it down into seasons, and within that season, I ask myself, who do I have to be in order, like every day, right? It takes 30 days. I don't know how real this is, but they say 30 days, 45 days to build a habit. I just believe in repetition. Maybe if I do it like 30 times a day, maybe it'll happen away. It might happen right away, depending on what level of ability to create you're at, But the season is what I do. So I create the season, what is it supposed to look like. I change my environment a lot. I change colors of the wall, change decoration. I put things into my environment that remind me of the season that I'm in, the goal that I want. I put images everywhere, symbols everywhere that remind me of the season that I'm in, so I can keep being around it. Everybody around me, my intentions are clear to everyone around me. I ask them humbly, can you please refer to me as, or can you speak to me, remind me consistently of these particular goals in the season that I'm in right now, right? And then on social media, I use social media as my magic wand too. I consistently create what season I'm in, and then it becomes a habit. So funny story. All right, so you were telling me about how some might be, experiencing a previous career, and when they make that shift, they have difficulty making that shift. I knew that was an issue. I knew that I would encounter that. And so I have like a program that I put into place for myself that I offer to other, law school students when I mentor them, even other people from other industries. And what I do is before they graduate, I immerse them into a program of like 6 weeks where they are forced to act and to be referred to as an attorney. And so I book, restaurants. I'll say, hey, this is I'm booking a table for attorney Narvios. And before I became a lawyer, right? Or say attorney Borrego, right? Say you're my mentee, so right? Cool. So I'll be like, okay, so go to this restaurant. Go up to the hostess and say a table for attorney Borrego. And they're like, what do you mean?
Even before being attorney, it's like you gotta believe it.
Right. And happens. Even if you don't eat there, just go there and they'll walk to your table and be like, hey, I gotta meet somebody outside, and then just go to, book hotels. Do what you think a lawyer would do. Go to the courtroom. I would go to the courtroom and I would shake hands with lawyers and I'd be like, hey, nice to meet you. I'm attorney, blah, blah, blah. And just get that out your system. A lot of people might frown upon that because they're like, oh, you're an imposter, you're fraudulent. No, if you're not making money, you're not like transacting. I'm not encouraging anyone to go out there and fraudulently claim that they're a lawyer. What I'm saying is the premise of the idea is get comfortable in your new role.
Yes, on your new identity.
So for example, for you, right? Like you're a world-class international speaker.
That's right.
and coach.
Yeah.
You train people from around the world. It's a huge accomplishment. When people do their introduction of you, they should be introducing you like that. Because that's the season you're in.
Yeah.
You're transitioning into that. The more you hear it from other people, the more it becomes. But I'm always going to be an advocate for your world-class international, she has clients internationally. She has clients nationally. She has clients all around the world. She is a world-class thought leader and coach. She helps people break through their goals. Her podcast is amazing. She's got tons of people that watch this every single day, and she adds value to your life. And so as you go through these seasons in your life, it transitions from the way that you feel, the way that you now accept it. In the beginning, it's weird.
It's weird. And you were there in the beginning with me.
Yeah.
6 years ago, when I was in corporate, I could barely say, and I was certified at that time, I could barely say,
coach.
Yeah, I'm a coach. Like I would hesitate, and you saw me saying it today. It's such a different energy.
Right.
Like, hey, I'm confident on who I am.
It's effortless now, But like I said, it's just like the say it, mean it, feel it, believe it, receive it.
Yeah, it is. It is.
You just get used to it, and it's important to start, because if you don't, then when you are blessed with the opportunity, and you have the opportunity there in front of you, and you're hesitating because you don't feel worthy, or you're just not. Look, and never label yourself as I'm not worthy, or right now I just don't feel like I'm worthy, or I deserve. That's weird to me, because you may not even be feeling unworthiness. You may not even be feeling undeserving. You may just be unfamiliar with the opportunity. Don't ever label yourself as, maybe I'm going through the struggle right now because I'm unworthy. Because once you label yourself, it's like a disease. You have now claimed it. And so I always tell people, just reconsider your words when you say I'm feeling unworthy. No, I'm just uncomfortable right now because it's new. You know, like when you sit in any environment, you're gonna feel a level of anxiety.
It's normal. Yeah.
Just accept it and experience it over and over and over again.
Yes.
Go visit your favorite car dealership and test drive that car over and over and over again, and say it over and over and over again. You know, like pretend like if you drive a Honda and you want to drive a Bentley, you know, go drive test drive the Bentley, and then when you go to your car, I'm going to my Bentley now, and you drive the Honda, but just I'm going to my Bentley now. It feels so great to sit in my Bentley. Go get a Bentley keychain, put it on your thing. You know what I mean? Like, just start to imagine, and when the opportunity arrives, because it will, if you just work towards it and you believe it, say it, mean it, feel it, believe it, receive it, then release it. It will happen.
Yes, it's not a matter of if, it's when.
Yes, yeah. And you want to be ready. You want to be ready, and part of that readiness is the feeling of just being familiar with it. Like, are you familiar with it enough to be like? And trust me, it's not easy. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not easy, but it's worth it. It's not difficult either. It just requires the work.
Consistency.
Work with a coach. You know, if you need guidance, somebody to help you push through, work with a coach. You know, she's helped me navigate through things. Before I became an attorney, you know, like when I was going through, oh my gosh, I need calibration, she's hooked me up. So I definitely believe in the support that you provide and the clarity and the purpose that you help people navigate through.
I really appreciate it. Rocco and Jim. I'm like, I don't know which one to use. I met him as Rocco, and now he's Jim. But
that's another weird thing, right? like it's a weird thing too, because our names are attached to so many memories.
Yes.
And so many identity forms.
That's true.
And so being Rocco, like when I released the name Rocco, people still call me Rocco. It's all good. You know, I promoted myself so much as Rocco. It's actually a great marketing thing. But the thing is, the name had so many attachments to the activity that I was doing, and I couldn't focus on school, nor could I focus as being an attorney. So when I went to my government name, which I hadn't used in like over 15 years, you know, it was interesting because, you know, my name is Jim Bank Narvios, and I was just telling you the story. I never used my government name all the way. And my middle name is Bank, but my mother pronounced it as Banke. And then one of my colleagues said, you know, in France, that's in front of every single bank, and you actually pronounce that as Bank. And I was like, manifest away.
I know, and oh my God, I have so many questions, but I want to keep it concise and simple. I'm like, I want to discover everything. So you were a very successful personal development rapper. What drove you to start exploring this legal career and this new identity, new life? How was the process? I mean, I traveled the world, and when you fly around, you travel, you stay in Airbnbs and hotels, and it's cool, it's glamorous. But for me, my own journey, my inner child, my own personal story, I wanted consistency. I wanted something that I didn't have complete understanding of, which was home base. Having I'm a big believer in doing things differently. So I was like, you know, in order to get new things in your life, you gotta do things differently. So what would happen if I did things differently? Because I was always just like, you know, traveling, and I was like, what if I stayed in Houston for an extended amount of time without having to, you know, do that kind of thing, you know, without traveling? And so I met my wife Oh my God.
Manifesting my wife, because your wife can't find you if you keep moving around. Your
That's
ass keep
right.
moving around. You're never your wife. Where are you?
We're gonna do another episode on romantic relationships.
Yeah. So met my wife, fell in love. Most beautiful woman alive. Gorgeous, smart, intelligent, loving. She's my half. I absolutely love her. Nimi's her name. She's Indian, met a beautiful Indian girl, fell in love, and I was like, look, I'm not going to be able to be happy if I travel around. She can't travel around. She's got a career, And I had already been looking to be consistent and have a home base. I was like, what better opportunity, right? So I met her, made a decision. It's always important to make an executive decision. Relationships, fellas, if you make decisions, your better half will follow you. It's something powerful about being unapologetic about business, about love, about intention. I set my intention with her. I was like, look, I want to be with you, but I have to figure out where I'm going to take the business, right? Because traveling isn't going to work, because it just wouldn't work for me, me and her. It might work for other people, but for me and her, it wouldn't work, because I always want to be with her. She always wants to be with me, and that's what I wanted to manifest in my life, was a counterpart, a significant other that was going to work with me.
I love that.
At the time, we never thought we would work together, but I just knew that we would work together in my heart. I don't think she knew at this time. And so
I can see it in your smile.
I manifested it. Beautiful things, man. So I was like, consistency, home base, marriage, wife. Then one day there was an issue with the phone. I got on the phone and I solved the problem. And, I realized that every time there was an issue with a corporation or there was an issue with somebody else, I always got on the phone and communicated, and I found a solution. And I enjoyed it. I was always, being a hip hop artist, I was always finding solutions.
Troubleshooting.
Always. And when I would perform, I would wear a suit. And when I was wearing a suit, there were many times that people coming up to me and they'd be like, hey, you have a business card? My cousin got in trouble. Can you help him? I'm like, I'm a hip hop artist, dude. What are you talking about? I'm not a lawyer. And so I would refer business out to my lawyer friends and referred a few out, and I started referring some more, and they would take me out to eat, and they'd be like, get whatever you want.
Wow.
And then I'll be
really?
like,
That's
I'm like, y'all really that happy with my referrals, huh?
I know. The universe was talking to you like, hey, the opportunities are here for you.
Yeah. And mind you, the lyrics that I would speak about were about justice. About life, about personal development. And I told her, people ask me, what's your specialty? I say the law of attraction, my number one client is life. I just don't like people messing with life. That's why I get so passionate when I hear about the injustices of the world, and I want to just go after it and find a solution for them. Anyways, diversity was also a big part of my career, and I realized that I had so many different diverse communities. Thousands of them, and Houston I'm packed with these communities that I would be in front of. I'd be engaging with hundreds of community leaders, and I'd be in front of thousands of communities, and these people were wanting more from me, not just the music. They were asking me for solve their solutions, and so I became a liaison to find resources for them. Started helping them out. Started, donating my time and finding resources, nonprofit organizations, connecting the dots. And then I started to realize that there was a bigger need. I needed to serve in a bigger way, a different way. A different way. I can still serve as a philanthropic and activist, and as a motivational speaker, as a personal development hip hop artist. But I had to serve in a different way, and it was beckoning me and calling me to use my other side of my potential. And so I had to solve problems on the phone, and I solved problems, and then one day, Nimi was just joking, and she's like, "Oh, you're like a lawyer," and I was like, "What in the world?" And then,
you're acting like one, like.
and then I realized that all my life, people have said this. And all my life, I thought about it, but there was a block because I had told myself I am an entrepreneur. I'm not going to go through academic.
Studies.
I'm going to just grind and become a business. And so I labeled myself as my identity that you're never going to go through studies. You're not going to go through academics. And so I even have a lyric. I said in my first album, I said, be a doctor, be a lawyer, be a nurse to pay, but I'd rather be a lunatic with musical ways.
Wow. That's crazy.
Creating all day, you know, I will carpe diem. You know, like, these are all lyrics. I said it and I became it. But when my wife is like a wisdom, you know, woman, you know, she says something and it just is the right thing.
Yeah,
it's like she just gets quiet and mellow and she just says it. Like this office, she picked it. She's like, this is an office. This is going to be the conference room. When we first moved in here, this was actually my office. This was my office.
Yeah.
And so
it's beautiful.
But she said in the beginning, this is going to be our conference room.
So,
and now
she sees through.
Wisdom and foresight. And she said those things. I thought about it. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna tour these schools. And I toured the schools, and after touring all the schools, there was one, Thurgood Marshall School of Law. Shout out to TMSL. I love my school. and the rest is history. All the manifestation opened up. Acceptance, did well in school. You know, had so much fun. Ate up these books, you know.
I know so many.
And just and studied and, you know, graduated early and passed the bar.
So crazy.
And I had a good time doing it the whole time through. And to answer your question was about how did I transition from
and how did you gain clarity that was it, which you answered, right?
Yeah, that's how I gained clarity. I gained clarity by trusting the clues.
Yes, and taking action.
Taking action. Exactly. Write out a list. If you don't know what's your next point of action, just what's the next logical step, and do that, and then all the rest of it will appear. You know, it'll start showing up. How am I gonna do a business? I don't know. Well, what can I do right now? Go get a DBA. Go get an LLC. You know. Okay, next, get some business cards. Next. Just next logical step. Just keep moving forward.
Yeah.
How am I going to get the money to start my business? Okay, just how can you get $100?
Yeah, start with 100 and keep moving forward.
And then before you know it, you know, you'll have a business, and just be consistent. I find that the number one killer of dreams is the inconsistency of sticking to the goal and the dream. And we are talking about like how I transitioned from one career to another. It's okay to transition. But don't do it so prematurely if you have a dream and you know that it's supposed to be your dream, because oftentimes we'll self-sabotage and then we'll justify it so well. We're so good at justifying it. It's because of this, and it's like a great reason, right? But it's because of fear. If you feel that fear and you don't want, just make the decision to do it. Your life is so precious. To deny yourself the opportunity to experience what you're supposed to experience. And yes, there's a lot of things that you got to go through, the hurdles, the self-sabotage, but don't view it like a place of victim. View it from a place of like a child, like experience it. When a child runs and falls over, they're not like, oh my God, I wasn't meant to walk.
That would be
You
funny.
know what I mean? That'd be weird, right?
Yeah, I'd be like, wow.
Just view it as a process. Like, this is the way it's supposed to be. This is not forever. I'm going to learn from that. And when I learn from that, I'm going to take that with me, and it's going to empower me. Guess what? When you're going to arrive, which you will, arrive at your biggest opportunity where you're in front of 10,000 people, or your business reaches a certain level and you feel that little, oh my God, you're going to remember that little one that you felt in the past. And you're going to be like, you know what? I've been here before. And once again, say it, mean it, feel it, believe it, receive it, then release it. You expanded your capacity now. And your ability to expand your capacity, you can experience more risk. Your risk tolerance will get bigger. And guess what? You're going to smile and you're going to trust me. You're going to be like, I remember those moments. And if you talk to all the successful people, you read about them, they will always tell you, I remember those moments. And I met a paleta man, dude selling ice cream, right? He owns like 15 marble slabs now. I met him and I talked to him.
Really?
Right? He was just a paleta man. He just walked around with a cart, paleta, sold the paleta, right? The ice cream. And I asked him, I'm like, what's the secret to your success? And what is the best thing you can tell me, right? And he said, enjoy the journey, because my happiest moments were when I was selling.
Oh, I like that. Be patient.
And he's like, yeah, this is cool, but I love those moments. And And I got to give him a golden nugget. I'm like, your moments don't have to end now. You can.
That is true. I like that one.
Yeah.
You keep evolving, right?
Keep going, yeah.
I love that. And I've always thought of you like a super good manifestor. You are really in touch with your intuition.
Yeah.
And I love that. What are some practices that you follow just to connect up and continue bringing the spiritual into the physical?
Don't numb your emotions. We tend to numb our emotions. We don't honor when we're sad or when we're happy. We hold it in. We laugh, cry, shout, honor your emotions. I mean, do it appropriately. Don't do it. When you know that just go off to the privacy of your own safe space and express yourself, and honor that. Because when you honor your emotions more and more and more, what happens is you have access to it. And when you have access to your emotions, emotions are not just emotions like how I'm feeling. Like it's deeper than that. There's like a spiritual emotion, and those emotions you can use to manifest. It's the intensity and the veracity to be able to go after your goals. But like intuition is it's a mirror. So the more you're real with your emotions and accepting of it, what happens is you can see somebody else's emotions. When you're vulnerable about your insecurities, fears, and doubts, you can now feel somebody's. It's crazy.
It is true.
It is a secret of life that it should be talked about more, because empathy is bred that way. If we just understood more about our own personal fears, insecurities, and doubts, we would now have mercy towards and grace towards other people with their fears, insecurities, and doubts. And so when you tap into that, you become a mirror, and then you become sensitive to other people, and then you can help assist them and like understand that they're not where you're at, and you're not where they're at, and you won't be judgmental. That's another thing that I find about like personal development.
Yeah.
Like you can become entitled, like I know this information and
better than anyone.
They don't you're being negative. You're being negative. I don't want to be around you. No, that's not the case. No, it's you have to be empathetic. You just have to understand I gotta love you from a distance, because I have a path that I'm carving, and in order for me to be at my best potential, so I can serve the world in the best way possible, serve those that I love in the best way possible, I have to protect myself. But I can be empathetic. I can be understanding, and I can drop seeds along the way, and hopefully, that person, maybe one day will remember, or maybe like be guided in a direction. But if it weren't for the people that drop seeds for me, I don't know where I would be in life. Really, like I am so grateful for the people that believed in me, the people that dropped seeds. And I didn't understand it in the beginning at first. They're like saying this stuff, and I'm like, that's weird, it's making me uncomfortable. But then like 5 years later, I'm saying the same.
You are saying those things to everyone else. Mm-hmm. That is so cool.
We all can make an impact, yeah.
That's right. Mm-hmm. And I love your journey, because you're still an entrepreneur. That's something you wanted to be.
Still.
Right?
I own a firm, and we're here. We run our own business. We get to be creative. We go to trial, and we're creative. We talk to our clients any way. We dress the way we want. We express ourselves any way we want. Entrepreneurship is not limited to a profession,
Yes, tell us more about it.
You're not limited to a profession. So, as you evolve, you discover things about yourself. And like I said, life is a journey of self-expression, reinventation. You reinvent yourself, evolve, and you have to honor that. If you're feeling lost in your profession, you're feeling bored, and you keep asking yourself a question, is there anything else? Then it's probably time that you honor that. And as you honor that, you'll discover parts of yourself where you can transition.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And I think it's important, like you said, to get to know yourself and what you stand for. Mm-hmm. Because based on that, you'll continue to make decisions that are aligned to that path.
Right.
Something that I said that I've heard before, and I truly believe it, is your why remains the same or very similar, your how changes. Mm-hmm. So talking about that, what is your why? What is your purpose?
My why is just to live life. I love that. I can't begin to try to categorize what my why is, but my why is to love life and honor life, and whatever direction that I go, carry that with me. Take care of my family. My family's a why,
Yeah.
I absolutely love taking care of, you know, my home, my family, my parents, you know, like the opportunity to do that is a beautiful thing. So that motivates me. And the why is like really about evolving and challenging myself to become the greatest. I want to give it all I got, you know, and that's so interesting. It's so fascinating to think about because there's so much more.
There is so much more. That's right.
Yeah, there's so much more, and no matter how much there's so much more. And it's not even about monetary. It's not about like business. It's about just life and how much expansion can we do? How much evolution can we do? And it's just a personal journey. But my why is living my life with as much integrity and loving life as much as I could possibly do it and share it along the way. Yeah.
I love that. And one more question. We said we were going to talk about finances or financial.
Right.
What for those trying to figure out their purpose or trying to gain clarity on their journey? And one of the things that we agree is that one of the biggest fears is finances or the financial situation. What would you say to those people that are trying to figure that out? They are in their journey and they're just afraid of not having that financial stability, based on what you have learned, of course.
Yeah. I know that, you know, you may be at a point where you're wondering or you're struggling or you're confused and disheartened about your situation. Finances, it's a flow. That's why they call it currency. And there's an abundance of it. And that's the hardest part to transition into thinking when you don't have it. I understand how that feels, right? But you have to find something that adds value to other people. If you are a specialist in it, you are more valuable because you have something different to offer. And then by establishing the understanding of that value, you build value within yourself. And then you no longer have fears to ask for that, receive that. That's also a big thing. Like, can you accept it if I gave it to you? Do you believe that you're worthy if I gave it to you? What are you asking for, right? So
that is true.
And so that requires practice. It requires, and that's once again, how do you practice it if you're not in a position to receive it? Well, it's very similar to the whole, you know, boot camp that I do. You know,
yes.
You have to create opportunities for yourself to receive it, whether it's, you know, get play money and, you know, every day, you know, tell somebody to give it to you, or you know, like practice it, like create a recording that says your account balance is da-da-da-da.
I love that. Like Jim Carrey, he wrote that check for like $1 million, and he would see it every morning.
And then the more you see it, the more you acquiring it is one thing.
Yeah.
Receiving it is another thing. And in believing you should keep it and believing that you should maintain it is another thing. And so my whole thing is, how are you developing yourself today to become a person that's worthy enough to keep it later? Because you can get it.
Like the lottery. Like a lot of people get the lottery and 3 years after they're broke again. Yeah.
Family member kills them.
Yeah,
you know, some terrible stuff happens. But yeah, that is really about developing yourself and being intentional with it, because our day gets past us.
Yeah.
You get tired, you just go to sleep, watch TV, you know. Our day gets past us. You have to be intentional every single day. You have to set a time of that repetition, you know. I have reminders on my phone that's like, you know, do this. You have to surround yourself with images, you know, like go into the stores that you typically wouldn't go to. Imagine the things that you really want, you know. Don't shortchange yourself. Don't allow your current situation to shortchange your imagination.
I love that.
Yeah, allow your imagination to expand and then develop yourself into a person that builds a good, healthy relationship with money. Be aware of fear. Be aware of fear of like lack. Like when you're aware of lack, then you can do the process of releasing lack and replacing it with abundance, you know? Like what I do is, like, if I ever felt lack before, what I would do is I would donate money. I'd go give money away.
Ooh, I like that.
Immediately.
Give to receive, right?
I mean, immediately when I was like, okay, like, I don't know if I want to spend my money on this, then I'll go give it away.
That's a good tip.
And then I say there's a lot more where that came from. And then by the action of giving it away to somebody who needed it more than me, it programmed me to believe that there was more, and it would always show back up.
Wow. More.
And then so it developed a habit, a habit within myself. Like, okay, this is something deeper. This is something deeper, and hard work is always there, right? But can you keep it?
Can you keep it?
Do you believe you deserve it, and can you keep it?
Yeah.
That is probably the most important thing to share about money, because, I could tell you to go out there and grind out, hustle. We can make money, make these bands, and cover this whole table up with $100,000. That really won't really help you. It'll make you think that I'm cool or whatever. And that's something to also keep in mind. Don't compare your journey with somebody else's, right? Like 9 times out of 10, their journey it's fabricated. You don't know. They're feeding you what
you never know.
Yeah, right. They might be be manifesting their own stuff, right?
Yeah.
Your journey is yours. Respect it. Love yourself. Heal those inner child wounds. Reframe, the lack mentality. Reframe the negativity, and just love. You have to develop a love for money, not like love as in like greed, but love as in I'm adding value to people's lives. So, I should be replenished. I should be given. I deserve, and don't compromise that. We might compromise that sometimes.
Negotiating with ourselves.
Yeah. Be like, okay, I'll just take this. No, you got to be, unapologetic. If it comes from a place of not lack and you want to negotiate, cool. But if you're just like, I don't know if I'm worth it, like that, you got to develop a good relationship. And once again, it's about developing worthiness of, like for example, your title, your profession, your success, your money. It's very similar. It all ties together, because if you don't believe you deserve it, you gonna get it. Okay, so the first is you brute force, right? You grind and you work hard. You'll get it. You'll get the position. You'll get the money. You'll get the girl. You'll get the wife. You get the husband, whatever. Yeah. But then it's like, do you believe that you should have received it, right? Like, can you receive it?
Yeah.
And the relationship, right? Okay, you got it. And then she's showing you love, and then you don't believe that you deserve it, then you're going to cause problems. Mm-hmm. Money's the same way. Business, same way. Your identity, your profession is the same way. If you don't believe that you deserve it, then what happens is it's going to repel. If I give love to somebody and they don't want my love, then I'm going to be like, wow. Money's going to be the same way.
Wow. Okay, I'm taking all these tips and I'm going to start applying them like right now. Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Right.
Jim.
It's an honor. Yeah, it's an honor.
Thank you so much. Just tell our audience where they can find you. What do you do for these amazing people to continue creating this impact? And all your info.
Thank you. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we're live here with Yanet Borrego at Clarity and Purpose. This podcast, it's doing amazing things, impacting millions of people. Clarity and purpose is something we all need. It's something we all should receive. It's something we all deserve. We should say it, mean it, feel it, believe it, receive it, then release it every single day. We are here at the Narvios law firm off of 459, right in the heart of Houston, in between Fort Bend and Houston. We're serving everybody from all around the world. If you're ever dealing with injustice, you get into a car accident, you fall, you injure yourself, if somebody else is harming you and your family, once again, life is my number one client. I am here to protect it. I'm here to honor it. I'm here to respect it. And our law firm is here to focus on you as my client and give you the respect you deserve and what you need. It would be an honor to serve you, an honor to represent you. And trust me, when I do it just as hard as I do this manifestation stuff, just as hard as I do this personal development stuff. You heard it first here at Clarity and Purpose.
I love it, Jim. I totally agree. Like, since I met you, high quality is something that has been consistent. I was really impressed when we worked together, him as my lawyer, so I would totally recommend him. Thank you so much for your time. I know you're a busy man. I really appreciate all your wisdom and knowledge, and thank you again for being here.
Thank you. For more information, 713-999-9-LAW. 713-999-9-LAW. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. See you next week. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for listening at With Clarity and Purpose. I really hope you enjoyed today's episode. Sharing is caring. Please share with your friends and family so we can continue building an empowered community together. I'll see you next week.